Hello, hope you are having a good time. So our last video was regarding how to create PostgreSQL Flexible server and we explored all the configurations while creating. This video will be after we have set up the server, how we can set up the monitoring, especially if it's a production one, right? So as you can see in Azure, PostgreSQL is a managed database, meaning the underlying hardware is managed by the Microsoft itself. We do not have to do anything like the patching or the upgrades or the vulnerabilities. Everything is managed by Microsoft. We just manage the PostgreSQL server. And even though the underlying hardware and the OS is managed by the Microsoft, we still have to manage the server like the CPU, memory, and the performance, the metrics, and all those we have to check ourselves, see if our server is working properly and if there is no any resource constraint, right? So Azure monitors it via platform metrics. Then we have is the logs, alerts, and insights. So these all four parameters are given by Azure, which can be utilized to monitor our server proactively. Now, when we check one by one, platform metrics are the metrics like the CPU, memory, storage, disk throughput, active connections, and all of those parameters and goes under metrics. Then we have is a log. Log is a data which we can send to a log analytical workspace, which we can query directly into the server so that in case if we want to check the bottlenecks or the throughputs or any other queries, we can check it directly via logs. All this we are going to see in the portal shortly. Now, after we have seen the metrics and the logs and we are sure about what is important to us and what we want to monitor, what we'll do is we'll set up the alerts on them so that we'll get notified and the alert can be sent your cell phone, it could be your email, your mobile number. And then we have as the insights. Insights is more into visual representation. We'll also explore the workbooks, which will give us a more graphical representation of our data. So next, when we talk about the baseline monitoring of the PostgreSQL server, our core one will be to begin with CPU, memory, storage, and your resource health. You'll get a proactive notification. These all comes under baseline monitoring. And let's head over to the portal and see what all we have got. So we'll search for PostgreSQL and we'll go to flexible server. I've already created two instances so that we can set up alerting on them. One important thing to notice when we are setting up alerts on multiple instances or servers at once, CPU, memory, and storage percentage are all metric alerts and it works only at the subscription level. Now to begin with, we have these two instances, which is demo instance and demo instance second, right? And we'll go to one and see all the parameters which we can see for the metrics and monitoring. So when we go into the monitoring here, we have alerts. Alerts will specify whatever alerts we have set up for this particular instance. And then we have metrics. Metrics will show you your metrics for this particular instance and we can set up alerts on them according to our own needs. We have backend logs, temporary files, file size, and failed connections. We can set up alerts like whenever the failed connection increases more than a particular threshold. So you can check this for all the metrics. And in our case, we'll go to the saturation and we have got CPU percentage. This is what we need, and we need memory percent and the storage percent, right? Before going into them, we can go to diagnostic settings. In the diagnostic settings, we would have to create a particular settings and then we can specify what kind of logs we can get from this particular server. We can choose audit logs, we can select all logs, and then we can select the metrics also. So data from the diagnostic setting from the server, we can send it to a log analytical workspace, which is actually a log centralized storage solution from Microsoft. We can also send it to archive to a storage account or an event hub or a partner. We often send all our data to the workspace and from there we can query our data or set up alerts or do any other further processing. I'll not select anything from here and I'll go back. Next we have is logs. So under logs we'll close this, and this is our logs query which works under Gusto query language, which is KQL, or you can go to the queries, pre-built queries from the Microsoft and select any which we need. Like if we choose for connection authorized or connection failures, we can run like this and it will show you the logs from that particular time range which we have selected. So in my case it's fresh and new, but in your case it will be showing some result if you are actively using it. And also when we have found a particular query, we can click on these three dots and set up alert on that particular query. Next we can go go is to the workbook which gives you a dashboard to see your data. So we have got two headings here, PostgreSQL Metrics. So if we select enhanced metrics, we'll see the database related activity here, how much sessions we have. We can go to database to see database regarding metrics, so transactions, rollback, total transactions, all those kind of data we can see and have a good glance from the workbooks. If you go back to workbooks, we have got overview, and it will be the summary of your server, like version is 70, minor version is 7, state is ready, storage is 32 gigabytes, backup retention and all those kind of data. And you can see the availability is 1 meaning healthy and 0 mean down. And if you scroll more, you can see the performance metrics like the CPU percent, memory, read IOPS on the disk and write IOPS, and this visual representation. These are important for you to troubleshoot and check if any anomalies are there. Now let's go back and set up alerts on the CPU, memory and storage and resource health. So we'll select for the metric here and we'll search CPU. And according to your own use case, we can select the max and minimum also, but average is fine. And you can see how much CPU percentage utilizing. It's utilizing at 5%, 7% and then 5. And then to set up alert, we'll click on new alert rule. Under new alert rule, we can go back to scope, and in the scope you can see we have the scope level, the subscription. To add more, we'll select scope. So in here we can add all the server here which we have for the PostgreSQL, and we can add one by one. In my case I have only two, so I'll click on this and then apply. So now this logic will work upon these two instances. I'll go to next conditions and select the signal as CPU percent. And now to get notified, I'll click on static and value will be greater than or equal to. Suppose you want to set up for 90%. Whenever the CPU goes beyond 90% or at 90%, you'll get an alert. And you can see the black line, which means you have set up alert on this. We can also modify from here to change the threshold limit, right? And I'll go to 90, and right now the utilization is at 7%. Now to get separate alert for the separate machines, I'll select the dimension as server name and it will show you our two machines. So you can see the two machines here. And when to evaluate, we want to check every, let's say 5 minutes, and the data it's going to look for is the last 15 minutes data. And next action. Now in the actions means whenever this alert is triggered, like the threshold value goes beyond 90% where we want to get alerted. So action group is what that lets you specify where you want to receive it. I'll use action group, and there's no action group created. I'll click on create. Action group works across subscription, so even if you have the action group in another, you can still utilize that one. So I'll give the action group name, let's say CPU action group AG, and display name will keep same. Next notification, this part lets you specify where you want to send the alert to. So in our case, I'll send it to email and use my cloud with arya@gmail.com, right? And you can also use the SMS so that you can get notified from here, or Azure mobile app notification, or voice, it will call you at your cell phone. So these are all the parameters we can use to send the data. Now the next actions is where if you want to use any automation, like the alerts get triggered, we want to set up some automation to get triggered via webhook or a logic app, we can do it from here. I'll skip this and next go to tags and review and create. So this is created and you can see my action group is selected here, which is one email. And next details, according to the severity of our instance, if it's production, we'll choose critical. We can see here like PostgreSQL instance is more than 90%, right? And add CPU also because we are setting for the CPU, right? And we have this advanced options. If you want some more data to be coming with the alert, we can add here the name and value combination, and we want to enable it after creation and automatically resolve alert. In this case, whenever the CPU utilization goes down below 90%, it will automatically resolve the alert. Next, tag and review and create. So we have successfully created alert for CPU. Now we'll go back and do it for the memory. So in the memory, we'll go to metric and search for memory. And we have got average, and we can see the utilization is at 37%. We'll go to new alert rule. and again go back to scope in case if you have multiple server, and I'll add our second instance and then apply and then go to next condition. I'll select memory percent and threshold type will be static and aggregation will be average and values greater than or equal to 90, and select dimension the server name. You will see that both of your instance which we selected in the scope. Now again we'll select the check every 5 minutes and the data is going to check every 15 minutes. Next action group, we can select the existing one which we already have. We specified it as a CPU action group, but we can utilize it for other also. It's just the name is incorrect in our use case. Now let's go to next details. We can select the wherever this alert rule will get created. We can choose the subscription, resource group, severity, critical, alert rule name, PostgreSQL memory is more than 90%, right? And we'll keep the default, next tag and review and create. So our CPU is created, memory is also getting created. Let's go back and do it for storage. These all are very important metrics in the sense that if one of them is affected, it will impact the performance or even cause the outage on your database. Now let's search for storage and percent, and we'll keep as average. You can see in the down also the utilization is at 12-13%. Again we'll go back new alert rule. In the new alert rule, the signal name is storage percent, threshold type is static. For that, we'll go to scope and select our other instance. And then go to next condition. In this condition, we'll select the signal name as storage percent. And the values will select greater than or equal to 90. So whenever the storage gets filled up to 90%, we'll get alert and server name. And again check every 5 minutes and the loop back period will be the 15 minutes. Next action will select the existing action group, and next detail will specify severity critical if production, or if it's a non-prod we can go with other severity numbers. And I'll give the alert rule name as PostgreSQL storage is more than 90% utilized, right? And keep the default here, next tag and review and create. So till now we have created 3 critical alerts. Now the other important alert will be our resource health alert. If you scroll below and go to help, you will see a resource health. Oftentimes in Azure needs to upgrade the underlying hardware, or if there's any planned activity that is scheduled from the Azure side, Azure will notify you proactively and you set up those alerts on here. Or if there's an outage, you can check from the alert. So for that, we'll go to add resource health alert. And the scope, again we'll select the multiple instance. Next conditions, we'll select all of them. So in any case, whenever there is a degradation, available status of our instance will get notified. Or we'll select the existing action group and then next details. And here we can specify as PostgreSQL resource health alert. Next tag and review and create. And this is also created. Now if you want to check whatever alerts we have set up, we'll go to alerts section under monitoring, and in here you will see if any alert is fired. We can select the time range under past 30 days, and you can see if any fired status of any alert here is, and what all alerts we have. We can go to alert rules. Under alert rules we can see we have these 3, and if we refresh, and we are not able to see the resource health alert because it doesn't get attached directly to the instance. We can see that under directly searching for alerts under monitor and then alert rules, and in here you will see the 4 alerts, right? So we'll just check one of the alert. Let's check for CPU, and the alert rule, we can see the history from here as well. Whenever this alert was fired, we can go to the settings, alert rule configuration. We can change any settings from here if you want. So this was a quick video regarding how do we set up the baseline monitoring on our PostgreSQL server and get proactively notified before the client or any other users reach out to us regarding the issues. Again, like and subscribe if you like this video, and have a good day ahead.